Hello students, welcome back to the online class again. Now today we will continue our chapter number 2, that is Central Processing Unit CPU. The first session of the video class we have already done. Now this is the second video session of chapter number 2, Central Processing Unit CPU. But before starting our class, I would like to say some notice to all of you that there will be a class test for computer subject. Okay, there will be a class test for computer subject on Google Classroom platform for chapter number 1. Now we are doing chapter number 2. Now the class test will be for only chapter number 1, and all the questions will be of multiple choice questions, and it will carry 1 mark each. Okay, the total mark is 10. The total mark is 10 marks. Okay, that is 10 questions, each carrying 1 mark. Okay, and these class tests will be done through Google Classroom platform. So you must install, I'm telling you again, you must install Google Classroom. From where you can find this Google Classroom? You can go to your Play Store in your smartphones. Go to Play Store and type Google Classroom. From there you can install the Google Classroom. Then after installing Google Classroom in your smartphone, you open the Google Classroom, and after opening that Google Classroom, you will get a plus sign on the bottom right corner. Okay, from the bottom right corner there will be a plus sign. You just click on that and click on join. After that it will ask for you to enter the classroom code. Okay, I have already sent you the classroom code in the WhatsApp group of your class 5. Okay, you type the classroom code there and you click join. Then you will go to the Google Classroom. From there you can get all the materials, the YouTube videos, these YouTube videos, the extra questions, the textual question answers, everything you can get from there, and the class test. After completing each chapter there will be a class test. So we are going to do for chapter number 1, we have completed chapter number 1, that is why we are going to do chapter number 1 class test. So that class test will be done through Google Classroom only, so you must install. Okay, it is a mandatory to install that Google Classroom. You must install the Google Classroom, otherwise you will miss the class test. All the class tests you will miss, and all the updated videos, all the updated materials, either it may be extra question answers, extra question answer, extra fill in the blanks, or textual question answers, then the updated videos on YouTube, all these things will be, you will miss. And the class test, most importantly the class test you will miss. So you must install this Google Classroom in your smartphones. If you don't know, if you have any problem, I think you know my number also from the WhatsApp number. You can call me and you can ask whatever problem. Is there any problem? If there is any problem, then you can ask me, you can call me, you can uh, write any message on the WhatsApp also. Okay, you can call me and WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is on every time online, or you can directly call me also and solve the problem. I'll tell you how to do it if you don't know, and if you know, or if you're you can take the help of your parents, your brothers, your uncle also. Okay, to install the Google Classroom. So there will be a test on 23rd May on Sunday. Why I am doing on Sunday is because on Sunday you don't have Google Meet classes, and also your parents will stay at home. Those parents who have been doing government jobs or any other jobs, they will stay home on Sundays. That is why I'm doing the test on class test on Sunday from 9 a.m. The exam starts at 9 a.m. and the exam will end at 9:15. No answer sheets, no answers will be accepted after 9:15. 9:15. Okay, so you need to submit your answers on or before 9:15. The test, I'm telling you again, the test is on Sunday, that is 23rd May, coming Sunday, 23rd May 2021 at 9 a.m. Exam starts at 9 a.m. So before 9 a.m. you can open the Google Classroom. Okay, directly at 9 a.m. you will get the link for the test. Just open it. Okay, and before answering the questions you need to fill up your mail ID. Okay, you need to fill up a mail ID, your name, your class, your section. These things you must fill these things. Then after that you go for the questions. If you did not fill up these things, you will not be able to answer the questions. Okay, munna taro sana haisi noigi class test ama sana logani kram kanda 23rd May 2021 Sunday numaijing numita pung mapanda logo diba ko pung mapanda gina mapanga mitra ngambok togani mapanda tawraga Sunday numita isi tegino Sunday numita di papa mama su office chatta banina yumda laibanina dugi damakta Sunday numita tawini duga Sunday numita di noi Google Meet classroom ta leramoy adugi damakta aina Sunday numita tawini ko aduga exam se pung mapanda hogani dubu noi si je exam se krai togani sana hai ke karama platform da Google Classroom platform togane adna noi Google Classroom platform se haptaba sungya hack yadre. Okay, haptaba yadi ke gino aina updated videos wagira notes. Okay, chapter wise notes wagira question answers and the textual question answers any updated material khudima chigi Google Classroom sida upload torokani sana WhatsApp ta thara arweb ko WhatsApp tadi tharakani link tharakani karigi Google Classroom gi ana Google Classroom se no smartphone da hapa machange Google Classroom se smartphone da kamaina hapani ana nogi smartphone gi Play Store do hangani Play Store da Google Classroom tharani Google Classroom tharaba matung da kedogni Google Classroom thara matung da Google Classroom tholaga adudo nogi smartphone da install to salani install to loira matung da open torani open toraba matung da makada plus sign am thulakani yet longi makada plus sign thokani plus sign to click tong matamda join an thulakani join habanga create habanga join an biro aduga sana WhatsApp ta thagiba Google Classroom gi code to hapiro aduga join tawro once join tawda nangi sana thagiba materials videos question answers any materials updated materials kudi manoi le u phangani aduga class su sana smanya sida YouTube ta takwa class esi ki question maram makta hangkodo Google Classroom da hangakani noina answers pira pe yare do noina answers pe ko matung ina chumi lali do sana dum jiki Google Classroom da hairani and most importantly akoina class test su tawgani ba Google Classroom sida tawdoi ba hayeng tang kunga humdoi da May da Sunday numit tawdoi se asi Google Classroom tawgani aduna Google Classroom ji haptaba sungya yade amna maru oi okay you must install this Google Classroom app. Google Classroom de haptaba yade khangani ko 9 dagi hogani to 9 hogdingai da wina Google Classroom do hangaga leibe yare mini ama wal ama ni walingai da duga 9 hek yobaga automatically link to la aneba link to open torani quite faster noi mail ID ma hana hapani haptaba yaroi then name then roll number duga section new students newcomers singidi roll number gi mahutta admission number do ni ibiro aduga section khangdabado newcomer gi section do main raju yare dubu all student hanagi satra gi di magi name roll number na mana hana class 4 do eramba roll number do dudum oini aduga magi hanagi class 4 do eramba section do dum oini adudum hapiro adu mail matungda aduna first section hamba mail matungda noi then you will go to the next section that is multiple choice question that chatwene hojiki हाइरिबा नोगी मेल आईडी ने मिंग ने रोल नंबर ने सेक्शन ने सी मेन जिंखै क्वेश्चन आंसर्स खुंबा यारोय नेक्स्ट पेज चटपा यारोय अदना सीजे फजना हाना मेल मतुंगदा नेक्स्ट पेज चटपिरनी अदुगा मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चन लाकनी 1 दैना 10 बो 10 क्वेश्चंस it's carrying 1 mark amam oini multiple choice question do multiple choice kan 1 mark amam do a b c d option mari mari lakani adu noina tick tick tobirani mobile da aduga last da loirakanda 1 daina 10 bu khumba loirakanda submit tobirani heck submit toba loibaga at the instant you will get the result noi result to dum khudakta noi kari nang na kyam phange haibdo nang moi computer da di Hojiki akhona Google Classroom da di point ana harakani point haise mark ne 1 point 1 mark na 10 points 10 marks nang hek submit tobaga nang question kya khumi question kya khumada answer kya chumme duga nang mark punna kya phange hado kudak the result dum phangane so in order to attend the test I have told you just now that is on 23rd May Sunday at 9 a.m. it will last for 15 minutes okay you need to install all the student must install this Google Classroom without fail. I'm telling you again, all the students must join this Google Classroom without fail. Okay. Still now, only 32 or 33 students have joined the classes. Okay, this is very bad. So you need to install this Google Classroom and you need to join the class for computer. I don't know for other subjects, maybe other subjects teachers also may be doing on Google Classroom, but for computer you must install this Google Classroom. Yareko computer ki Google Classroom install to the any updated news, any question answers, any YouTube videos, loinamak ne Google Classroom da loin phangadine Google Classroom da loi hapakani da loin mak yengba yareno. Mai sir nahan question answers mamangi to silhaude amta thabiru habido adudo amo haina dajare ne Google Classroom do hapadi ne yengningo matamda Google Classroom da thoga yengba yare duga print out rows yare okay now I hope you all understood how to install this Google Classroom and it is very important to install this Google Classroom so that you didn't miss any updated news updated videos or class days okay install to solo install to the basonare gyan taramani na khale sana angani ko loinamak every students each and every student must install this Google Classroom. All the class tests will be done through this Google Classroom platform. Yareko. Now let's continue our chapter number 2. The second part of chapter number 2, that is Central Processing Unit, CPU. Now we have finished till here. Now let's continue this functional units of computer. The next topic, that is functional units of computer. Now in the previous section you have learned about the functional units of a computer. Now let us learn about the functional units of computer. The CPU has 3 main functional units. How many functional units, how many main functional units does a CPU have? Okay, I can ask a question like this. How many main functional units does a CPU have? A CPU has 3 main functional units. The first one is control unit, that is CU. Arithmetic logic unit, that is ALU. And the third is the register. Okay. CPU की functional unit से करी करी नो कया लई CPU की functional unit से अहुम लई मधुदी करी करी नो control unit CU, arithmetic logic unit ALU and registers. Okay, I have a question how many main functional units of a computer of a CPU have? You may answer like this. The CPU has 3 main functional units. Kari kari no. Okay, it is shown in the flowchart in a diagram like this. Functional units of central processing unit CPU. The control unit will go to register, and arithmetic unit will come to the arithmetic unit, it will perform it, it will go to the register again. Okay, it is all controlled by this control unit. Now let's see those functional units one by one. The first one is control unit. Control unit, everything will be controlled from here. Computer ki controller ne ma control to budini ma supervisor of the whole computer se man control to budini. Likewise, when you go to the road, okay, you school la kuma tamda sorok sa kuma tamda sorok ta traffic police le mani traffic police na maikay ma one direction ma hana lao aduga three direction ma hana khama thamani, okay, aduga thamaga amado hana chalarani dex ama mungla o hayani atai khama thamani kai gino to ido in order to prevent from accidents, okay, accident thok tana bane ma amaga amaga thingai na di accident thok ni na do ma mana systematically manner the order to same in domain to dana computer gi su control to we kanana control to we si control unit na pot khodi mang control to we suppose you type a name like suppose tom tom. Now the first letter is T, the second letter is O, and the third letter is M. And now these will be controlled by this control unit. The first letter you type will display on the screen first. T hanatato di T hantoni. The second letter O will come second, and the third letter M will come last. Third ta to man thola kadai. Anyanga T O M iraga asona kanda M O T ne kisu tholo we. Makara onana opposite ta. Then the first letter you type will display on the screen first, the second will display second, the third will display second. Okay, so control unit, the control unit of the CPU is the controller and the coordinator, in short the supervisor of the whole computer to be supervised of the man. The control unit controls the sequence of instructions and programs to be executed. Now I just told you this magi instruction tharakpa program tharakpa putting say step by step systematically manner the man control to control unit na it controls the flow of information between the ALU and the register, whether it is an arithmetic logic unit or whether it is a arithmetic problems, arithmetic solutions, or the logical problems. It will see here. Then if it is a arithmetic and logical arithmetic and logical problems, it will go to ALU here, otherwise it will go to the register, so it controls here the flow of information. Whatever information the user give, it will control. Then the third is that it coordinates the function of all parts of the computer ki parts khudi mak chama lema coordinate toni amaga samna hanaga loima control togani man mana pot khudi mak loina mak control kawini. That is why the CU, that is the control unit, is called the supervisor of the whole computer. Got it? Now I guess you got the logic, got the idea of this control unit. Check kaino hati khangamani. And the arithmetic logic unit to which kaino arithmetic ka logical ka problem khudi mak se arithmetic logic and logic hadi kaino arithmetic hadi mathematical problems mayam ma solve tawba habdi addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, square root, integration, differentiation mayam le ko adu mayam do arithmetic khudi mak se arithmetic sadani logical hagana and or nor XOR logical operators mayam le adugi problems na logic ta chatlani aduga ani se arithmetical logic problem oiragadi addition solve tawbani problems. The actual processing of the data as per instruction is done by this unit of the CPU. The actual processing is in a onto the it performs all mathematical calculations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and divisions in a arithmetic thoroughly. Then it performs logical operations logical operations like comparisons such as greater than, less than, equal to, have a n or nor high sana XOR, nan, negate can ma'am label ko. Sigi magi logical operators that you will study in higher classes, the logical operators. Now the arithmetic operators na kayo addition, subtraction, multiplication, these you are now studying this, you must be knowing this addition, subtraction, multiplication in money and division the logical operators. So logical ki jo operators like logical operators in operations have ni ko comparisons na logical ki operators like and, or, nor, XOR, nan, negate ina aduna you will study that in higher classes da tamakane bahi kudi magsesina logical chakane control to the arithmetic and logic unit. Then the register is a small memory unit on the CPU. It's a small memory unit machamani. The data is stored here. The data is stored to be while it waits to be processed. Processed to bring either access to bring either on the store to legani. The ALU can then easily access this data for its calculation. ALU na mal access to the season ramdaida. Mamondagi lo focus registers. Now it helps to easily and quickly get information stored in the computer memory dagi yam line of quick oheli. It has the CU control unit mana control to quickly transfer data to other parts of the computer mana thadok thajin to matamdaju CC register leba information data memory se control unit sijanabaju nungai ALU ne access to matamdaju nungai. Okay, now these are the main functioning units of a CPU. Now, do you know the clock rate is the speed at which a microprocessor executes instruction? Now we call it a clock rate. Speed at which microprocessor executes instruction. Clock rate. Every computer contains an internal clock that regulates the rate at which the instructions are executed. The faster the clock yang ikudingi, the more instruction the CPU can execute per second. The rough measure of the speed of the CPU in the following instruction is measured in MIPS, millions of instructions per second. Akoina CPU gi instruction measure tawse kai dawi MIPS ta millions of instruction per second ta koina measure tawgane ko rough measure of the speed of the CPU gi speed ne the CPU gi speed se yang kai and the CPU se yang kai magi system ji yang doine. Okay, hangani ko CPU si yang ke yang gani hagidi CPU na tapagadi system do tapkadoine CPU da yang gadi system do yang gadi haibadi masayam phaba mi manadi port achoba mayama port mayama puraga chapa ngami al masa yang kangba phataba na di puraga chapa ngamden adna mana magi speed to yang chawri makai magi speed to yang ba hengane adu my speed to nemagadi system do tapakani hang drokani computer the hang hagadi kaino hang hagadi computer to lepaga lagibdo adu koina hang haga khange khangani ko. The right way, it is not advisable to open CPU box with the help of technical expert. Moreover, the parts inside it are very delicate and sensitive. CPU box id koigi CPU gi magi box amuba or in any color tholope ya the CPU daibodo the motherboard yawi hard disk yawi DVD ROM yawi RAM yawi ma'am yawi na si technical way manungda koina hanga kai jongidi ngoidabni technical expert yauragadi akhangba mi semba haiba mi computer semba haiba mi yauraga hangbadi kisu kaide natragadi maina chingma khotpa yado khotaba tawbani am delicate oiba amasung am sensitive oil. Okay, now here completes our chapter number 2, central processing unit CPU. Now let's recall what we have done in this chapter number 2, that is central processing unit CPU. The 5 major functions of a computer are 5 major functions input, storage, arithmetic, logic, processing, output and control. Now different devices perform specific functions. Different devices na magi specific functions the CPU controls, coordinates and execute all instructions and is therefore referred to as the brain of the computer. Control, coordinates and execute all instructions. CPU is known as the brain of the computer. Now there are 3 main functional units of the CPU. Control unit, CU, arithmetic logic unit, ALU and the register. The CU is the supervisor of the CPU and the whole computer. These we have just done now. CPU is the supervisor of the CPU and the whole computer. The ALU performs all the mathematical calculations and logical operations. Register is a small memory unit of the CPU where all data to be processed is stored for easy and quick access by the ALU. Register is a small memory unit easily processed ALU na amasung CPU na okay. Control unit amasung ALU na control access tawbada thuna bagi damakta neba amasung line bagi damakta ne registers na ko. So here completes our chapter number 2, central processing unit system. Now for today, let's end our class here. Now before that, I'd like to tell you once again to install the Google Classroom app, okay, in your smartphones so that you do not miss any class days, okay, chapter wise class days or any classwork which I have given in the Google Classroom, or any updated videos, updated materials which I will give in future. Okay students, stay home, stay safe and stay healthy.